Hi, this is Mary Flower again, and I'm going to do part 2 of my Monsters in Love. And if you'll notice from part 1, you'll see that I've done some work on this because it's so tedious that I didn't want to show everything that I was doing. But what I did do is use an off-white paper for the heads of these monsters, and I used my chalk and these little things. These are actually for makeup, but they work really good, and I'll show you how I use those. And another thing I did was the metallic gold was just almost overpowering. In fact, I could hardly put the light on it. It was so overpowering. So I went back and put some of the gray paint around here so that it would tone it down a little bit. I don't mind a little in the background, but I didn't really like it. So anyway, I'm going to start from here. I may be stopping the video a little bit because then I can show you, you can probably get more of an idea of what I'm doing. This whole set about Paris, the designer paper, came in and have different kinds of tags and things that you can use. And one had this that says "You and Me and Paris." I liked that. It was larger, but I sort of cut it down, and I liked how it's sitting here. Now, the one thing about this, and it has to do with the title, I'm going to put it on in it anyway, is that you can't really tell where arms are. This is actually the girl, and she goes around like this, if you notice, but you don't know where her arms are, and it almost looks like this monster has these arms. And so I'm going to clarify that a little bit more by adding some arms into these, and so that's what I'm going to do here next. But I'm going to add some other things, like I really like this little guy to have a kind of a cute hairdo, so I'm going to give him some hair here. And then you'll see the reason I'm going to put her hand over the top of it, so I need to put the hair on here first. And so I'm going to glue this. And it'll kind of be, so there's his hair, and I did use the shading on his face, and he has one eye, and I made the teeth whiter with a gel pen. And so there, I'm going to also give her some hair, but I need to do some work on that. And the other thing I'm going to be doing, let me see if I can find the arms and stuff that I cut. Okay, this one this one goes in a different spot, I think. Okay, hold on. Okay, here's her hand, and it will be up here like she's caressing his hair. And what I want to do, though, is go around it with my marker, so it makes it more. Let me see if I can get this light to be more correct. It's nighttime now, and so sometimes the lighting changes. So let me work on this for a minute. And I like to be very, very careful on this and just do an outline of it so that it shows up. And these Monsters only have 3 fingers, so which makes it sort of interesting here. And so now I'm going to glue her hands like she's caressing his hair. And it's small pieces, but you know, I I really, really like the tacky glue. It's worth... I don't feel like one hand will be coming up this way, and you can't really see it, so it'll be coming around this sign here, but I'm going to be putting her other hand the other way. So here's her other hand, and in reality she's kind of touching his neck. So this is her other arm, and I will be using more of the I lose words, the chalks on that as well, and you'll be able to see that. Okay, so I've made this one, and I'm going to put it right here, and it's probably a little difficult to see because of the way the lighting is, but I'm putting it here right over these rocks that are in the shape of hearts. Let me show you. It's right there. And so that's one of his hands. And okay, and then this is the other hand. And this one is his hand, and it's like he's reaching for, let me get this, her neck. So let me see if I can get this. This is difficult to get this right here. And like I said, I guess I could use a glue stick. I don't really like the results of the glue stick, so I do the painstaking of having to do it with the tacky glue. I like this stuff. Okay, so this will be his arm over here. And so I don't know if you can see, but he has his hands here. She has hers this way. Now I'm going to give her some cute lips. And so I have these little lips that I made out of just a red, out of the plain paper that comes with this packet of the Paris, and I drew and painted it before, and then I put some glue on it, and so those are her funny little lips right there, and she looks like she's ready to smack him with her cute lips. In him, I just wanted to have a big happy smile and big teeth, and okay, then what we're going to do is going to give her some hair. So I have these pieces right here. Excuse me. This is a neck scarf I want to put on him, kind of give him that French look. Yeah, if there is such a thing as French Monzzers, I guess we can make them anything we want, right? So I'm going to put this here, and we'll be doing more drawing and shadowing in a minute after I get these pieces down. And when we work on these, we'll probably go over it with a little bit heavier, with little bit heavier lines in this. And I want her hair to be more green than really even her face, and I will be putting shading on that as well here. Okay, so I want her to have this funny hair over her really strange eye. If you can see that, my hands have glue here. And I find that if I use color paper and designer paper at first to do some of my work, then I can draw or paint over the top of it. And so I sort of like doing that. I'm going to have another piece for her hair over here with her great big huge one eyelash there. If you can see that, let me put her a little close. Her there. And we'll do some more with that after it dries here a little bit. Now the other thing I want to do on this, I will be putting in some I like this, if this is one of the designer paper, and I like these big flowers and these leaves, so I will be using some of those. And maybe this, it's a gold too, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. But what I want to do is finish the edge here, and around the bottom and top, I've decided to use pieces, just different pieces. And these actually are the piece that holds the designer sheets like so up here along the edge. And I like those. And they're just the right size. And so I chose some that would look good with this. And I'm going to use it as my border. If you can see this, I'll move it up just a little bit. But this border down here will be a little more pieced with different colors on it, like so. And so, and there's one hole punch in the middle of it anyway. And so what I'm going to do, so it kind of gives you, kind of, you know, that a little bit of a Tisha Moore edging. I like to frame in things a little bit, and then I like to round the corners too. And so I'm going to put this one here, and I like to use a ruler here to line it up. Give it a nice sharp crease in there. Then I have a couple other colors. I don't want this one because it'll run into that one, but I think I'll use a little bit of this on this side here. If it'll go that far, I may have to put it looks like it's gonna be pretty close in there. We'll see what happens. So give it. Okay, I'm going to finish the top. I'll pause it for a minute and finish that part. Okay, so I put the pieces around the edges here and kind of framed this in. Now I like to make sure that I have given them a round edge. And I had already done this before, but this one's already done. This one. And this one. Okay, so now it's getting there, at least the layout, pretty much what I want here. I may put a piece here, I'm not really sure. I kind of like a little bit of this right here, or a little bit of, but I may use these big flowers here that I have up in the corner or something, I'm not sure. So okay, so now from this point on here, I'm going to work a little more closely and put some of the chalk edges on it. So I really like this. This thing is just falling apart, and I've used it like crazy. And you can see that the pieces are just everywhere, but I really like this. So I'm going to see if I can get this where I want it, and you can watch me do that. This sort of gives it a little bit of shadow, but I like to put the shadow around here. And you know, this chalk wasn't working on the metallic gold that I had here anyway, and so let's see. Then I'll go back and give this even a little deeper bit to it here. See, this spot here won't take it very well, but I have another way of fixing that in a bit. So I'm going to put in this color really quick because it's going to take a lot of time. And so I'm going to pause it and then come back. I think because this is going to take a lot of time, and I'm basically putting in the shadowing, and you saw me do some of it, but I'll wait until I get a bunch of this done and then come back and show you more what I've done, because otherwise I will have to do another part to this, and I'm thinking I'll do a part 3 with this as well. In fact, I always do a kind of, on the other one, I think I did a part 3 where it just showed the final thing. So anyway, that'll be it for part 2, and I'll come back and you'll get to see part 3.